Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Joseph Lopez. Let's take a look at the headlines. The Prime Minister urges business and non-government organizations to assist citizens to meet their need for housing. Trade Minister praises public servants contributing to increasing ease of business in Trinidad and Tobago. And the launch of NEET Workforce Assessment. In our top story, Prime Minister the Honourable Kamla Persad Bissessa is urging the business and charity sectors to partner with the government to assist in ensuring that all citizens have one essential need met: housing.
Prime Minister Persad Bissessa is assuring the public that her government is committed to ensuring all citizens have access to housing. She believes shelter is a fundamental right of citizens and the government should assist as much as possible.
We have consistently demonstrated the fullest support to ensure that our country highlights and fulfills the basic and fundamental right of citizens to shelter.
Mrs. Persad Bissessa is urging Housing Minister Dr. the Honourable Rudal Munilal to not be daunted by the enormity of the task of ensuring all 1.3 million citizens have fair access to housing. She says he should instead comfort himself with the realization that he will be helping tens of thousands of citizens, many of whom cannot ordinarily help themselves.
My advice to Dr. Munilal and his team is, do not be overwhelmed or discouraged by the huge database of applicants. Consider every single housing solution you provide to a citizen as a meaningful fulfillment of your responsibility. Large and critical parts of our database of applicants are low-income earners, and they do deserve particular attention. Conventional housing solutions cannot adequately cater for this very most vulnerable section of our population.
She explains that while the government will do what it can to make housing available to all, there must be other entities willing to support the government when necessary. Prime Minister Persad Bissessa says this is where the private sector and non-governmental organizations can play an important role.
Our approach to housing in Trinidad and Tobago embodies the principle that the government has an important role to play. But I want to stress, let me stress this, government is not the sole solution. We must all recognize the fact that government cannot solve the problem on its own. We fully endorse the need for a full and meaningful partnership of government, private sector, NGOs. Poverty must not mean despair and hopelessness. I urge the banking sector, as well as our credit unions, to get on the bandwagon, to get involved and look at the opportunities that will come out of this program. As many as 10,000 mortgages in the first 3 years of this program are going to be pursued. To my mind, that sounds like good business.
Gregory McBurney, News 4.
Minister of Trade, Industry and Investment, Senator the Honourable Vasant Bharath, is commending the public servants who have contributed to increasing the ease of doing business in this country.
Minister Bharath explains, due to public servants' hard work and some new legislation, this country has flown up the international charts which determine the ease of doing business in various countries and regions. Giving an example, Minister Bharath explains the time to register business has been reduced from almost a month and a half to less than half a week.
That process in totality took about 43 days. We have now reduced that time frame to a maximum of 3 days. And we've now enshrined into legislation for the first time in the history of this country a public service delivery time frame for a public organization, being the Board of Inland Revenue and the National Insurance Board, both of whom are now mandated by legislation that they must take no more than 24 hours to approve an application for incorporation of an organization.
The minister also explains that another process which has been improved is the length of time it takes to clear goods from the port. He says that while in years gone by, the clearance of such goods was often a tedious process, the recent merger of Customs and Excise Electronic Customs Program, ASICUDA, and the Ministry of Trade's single electronic window has shortened that time immensely. The minister reveals plans are now in place to allow goods to be cleared from the port within 24 hours.
I was mandated by the Prime Minister and Cabinet to ensure that we had scanners in Trinidad and Tobago within 6 months, and I intend to make sure that that does happen. Once the scanners are installed in the ports, what it then does, the requirement, it lessens the requirements to unstuff as many containers as we do, because of course it goes through the scanners and they can scan it and see what's inside of it. So when we put those things into place, we will have a far smoother customs process and procedure, so much so that we intend and aim to get to a 24-hour clearing time rather than 19 days.
Minister Barath praises the public servants as he says their work has not been in vain. He reveals representatives from various countries are due in Trinidad and Tobago in June to discuss investing in the islands.
Canada, the United States, Europe, Austria, Poland, China, coming in to look to do business in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, the fact that we've managed to interest them enough means that they're excited about coming to Trinidad to do business. The question is, how are we going to keep them? Because once you create that hook, you pull them in and you've got to now say, okay, yes, these are the incentives, but this is how quickly we can make things happen. And we want to be in a position to say, you know what, it's going to take you 3 days to set up your business. It's going to take you 2 weeks to get a construction permit. It's going to take you X amount of time to get your contracts in place. So once we can put all of those things in place, we're very confident that we would have created the enabling environment, not just for foreign direct investment, but also local direct investment.
Gregory McBurney, News 4.
After the break, NEET workforce assessment. Stay with us. Welcome back. NEET, Not in Education, Employment of Training, is the new program offered by the NESC, National Energy Skills Center, for persons who are experienced but do not have the qualifications and are in need of certification. The program is the latest to be launched by the Ministry of Tertiary Education and Skills Training.
The next phase in workforce assessment commenced with the opening of the NEET field office. The project, which opened at the National Energy Skills Center, NESC, located at Rivulet Road, Couva, aims at providing certification for already skilled workers. President at the NESC, Kern Das, describes the NEET as adding value to the current workforce available.
The objective is to reach persons in the communities to encourage them to become certified or to explore the pursuit of skills training available to them. This program being launched will generate a positive return by improving the competitiveness of our economy in the long term. Citizens of this nation can now access this complementary program that will provide both young and old the opportunity to be assessed both nationally and regionally and be certified through the Caribbean Vocational Qualifications, as we know, CVQ.
He describes this as offering an improved quality in service.
Imagine having a certified technician coming to your home to conduct repairs. The comfort level it brings knowing that you feel confident that you're in good hands. I mean, so many times we have, whether it's electrician, whether it's plumbers, whether it's masons come to our homes, and we really are unsure of the quality of work. And if there is no quality, what is our recourse? And I mean, this is an avenue where we have people become certified. So therefore, you could feel confident that if somebody comes into your home, they are rendering a good job, a job that has been assessed by occupational standards. And therefore, as a person, I call you a customer of some repairs, you feel very, very comfortable with that.
Tertiary and Skills Training Minister Fazal Karim says the introduction of this program is an indication of the vast supply of skilled workers this country possesses.
You are contributing to a database that we can now increase the export of our skills to the rest of the Caribbean and the rest of the world. Because for the first time, we'll now have a stock of skills on our database. For the first time, anybody anywhere in the world could go on the internet and see what are the occupational areas and what skills Trinidad and Tobago has through that list. For the first time, we have through the NESC a drilling school, even though we are over 100 years in drilling. For the first time, we're exporting that skill to not only Nigeria, but Uganda is interested, Ghana is interested, Sierra Leone is interested, Angola is interested, Equatorial New Guinea is interested. And in fact, in Equatorial New Guinea, they have a plant, a gas plant, the equivalent of Atlantic LNG. And we have young boys and girls working there.
Current courses at the NESC offer training in areas of ICT, drilling, construction, and automotive services. Kimberly Ramkalawan, News 4.
The National Security Minister is stressing the need for sport and exercise. He was speaking at the CCC Sports and Family Day, where he called on the program's regional managers to recognize the important roles they play.
The Civilian Conservation Corps recently held its annual Sports and Family Day at Skinners Park, San Fernando. It was a day that saw the 8 regions under the CCC compete in fun activities, including a march past and track and field events. Minister of National Security, Senator the Honorable Emmanuel George, attended the Sports and Family Day, where he interacted with those enrolled in the CCC program and their family. In addressing the large turnout, the Honorable Minister noted the importance of sport and exercise in one's daily life.
Sports are very important. In fact, exercise is very important in all of our lives. And we hope that exercise and sporting activity generally is something that you try to make a daily part of your life because of its importance to your health and well-being. As I said to the fire officers this morning, it is important for all of us to ensure that we have exercise as part of our daily lives because it makes us healthier people. Healthier people work better because most of the time you will find that healthy people do not take sick leave. And the more that you are present at work and can perform, it is the better for your country and for your organization.
In recognizing the need for positive role models in today's society, Minister George called on the elders to play a crucial role in the lives of the youth.
And to all of the leaders of the various regions, you have a considerable responsibility to guide all of these young people and to give them a good foundation on which they will build and become good citizens. You recall how you grew up and the opportunities that you had and the way that your parents, guardians, and what you might want to call exemplars, the effect that they had on you. You have to have that effect now on all of these young people. And to the young people, it is a wonderful world out there. Give yourself a chance to prosper in it.
The CCC, which was established in 1933, is a social intervention program that provides skills training and attitudinal and behavioral development to at-risk youths across Trinidad and Tobago. The program targets persons 18 to 25 years and prepares them for employment, while attempting to curb the rising incidence of crimes committed by citizens within this age group and raises the self-esteem of participants. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
Sports is up after the break. Stay with us. The Trinidad and Tobago Football Federation continues to transform into a more transparent and accountable national sporting body, as recommended by the Minister of Sport. The latest addition to the team of President Raymond Tim Key is General Secretary Sheldon Phillips, and he told our Wayne Cunningham about his role in the transformation.
Sheldon Phillips is the newly appointed General Secretary of the Trinidad and Tobago Football Federation. Replacing the long-standing Richard Groden as President Raymond Tim Key continues to formulate his team to take football out of the doldrums. Mr. Phillips made his first official appearance as General Secretary at a media conference to announce the settlement of the 2006 Soca Warriors dispute, which he sees as crucial to going forward.
Well, I think it's a huge step forward in making a very bold statement and separating the Timke administration from previous administrations. We were saying very loud and clear that we're moving in a completely different direction. One of the things that I think will distinguish us is the way we deal with people and our embrace of good faith. If we make a promise, we're going to keep it. We're not going to, the whole era of over-promising and under-delivering is something of the past.
As the son of former national goalkeeper and technical director Lincoln Tiger Phillips, the new General Secretary comes from good footballing pedigree, and he easily sees what the settlement will do for local football.
This single event, our ability to establish a settlement with the 2006 Warriors is not only a righteous action and corrected a wrong that had taken place for far too long, but it really, allows us to, stand up, very tall and say we're a new group, where we have a new way of doing things, and we're now ready to engage with the corporate sector and the government and other stakeholders who have in the past been very open and willing to work with the team, but since the lawsuit had taken place, they were reluctant, reasonably so. So we think we have removed that major impediment, and then we're already starting to actually meet with some corporate stakeholders, potential corporate stakeholders, and from what I understand from Mr. Timke, the mood in the room and the response that we're getting is significantly different than what was felt before.
With a mixture of old and new officers on the Trinidad and Tobago Football Federation executive, we asked if any hurdles are expected because of this mixture.
No, I mean we're really focused very keenly on moving forward, and our attitude, both President Timke and myself and quite a few members of the board is those of you who want to get on board and on this train to move forward, come. But those who aren't inclined, the train's not going to stop. We are keenly aware of what has to be done, and very much interested in really kind of rolling up our sleeves in many aspects and doing whatever we need, whatever has to be done to really put us back to that level where we were at in 2006. So from what I've heard and seen so far, there's nothing to indicate that there are going to be any significant obstacles placed in our way from within. So to answer your question in short, no.
The contribution of the TT Pro League has been recognized by the General Secretary, and plans are in the making for new collaborations.
It's extremely important for the Federation to support the Pro League as in its mission to support our players. Many of which on our national team come from the Pro League. The club system is when you talk about development of football, a lot of people focus their attention on national teams, but in many ways it's the clubs that are responsible for the development, and they've been doing it for a long period of time, especially during this particular era when the Federation hadn't been able to fulfill those duties, or certainly not to the level that they would like to, the Federation would like to. So we look forward to continuing to work together with Mr. Skeen. The two of us have a very good relationship. We actually, he was very supportive of an initiative that my father and I worked on last year in bringing down coaching staff from the Seattle Sounders and showcasing Pro League players, and we're looking to do an even bigger set of initiatives of a similar nature in the very near future.
Football seems to be moving forward. Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
More news after the break. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. It's been dubbed the 8th wonder of the world, and it rests right here in Trinidad and Tobago. We bring you this special feature on one of our nation's most cherished national treasures.
At a glance from a distance, it can be mistaken for an abandoned parking lot. However, at a closer look, you will discover the depths of this dark beauty, the Labrie Pitch Lake. Some have dubbed this 100-acre expanse the 8th wonder of the world. Lebre is Spanish for pitch. It is located in an area of depression in the landscape, with pools, reeds, and grayish asphalt everywhere. The story of the Pitch Lake goes as far back as 1595, when English explorer Sir Walter Raleigh landed here and used pitch from the lake to caulk his leaking ships. Afterwards, he described it as most excellent and good. For centuries, the pitch extracted from the lake has found its way into several countries of the world. The lake, with its raw supply of pitch, was partly responsible for putting Lebre on the map. Additionally, the presence of the lake and its evident relationship between crude oil and asphalt led to the area being considered as one with great promise for the discovery of oil. The native Amerindians believed the lake sprung as a punishment by the Great Spirit after the killing of a hummingbird which was sacred to them. Lebre is a ward of Trinidad. It consists of several villages extending from Rosilac to Vance River. Within that area exist several small villages, namely Point D'Or, Newlands, Vestany, Brighton, Union, and New and Old Jersey. This lake of pitch is approximately 100 acres in size, with an estimated depth of 250 feet. It has been estimated that at the present rate of extraction, this lake can provide raw pitch material for the next couple hundred years. The actual capacity of the lake is estimated to be between 6 to 10 million tons. The other known lakes are Lake Guanaco in Venezuela and the Lebre Tar Pits in California, USA. Trinidad's natural lake is the only one that is presently mined for export. There are a few things you may want to know before you head out onto the lake. First, it is possible to walk on the lake, most of it anyway. The middle of the lake is the most active part. Venturing out there is akin to taking a stroll on quicksand. It's an awesome experience when you set foot on the surface of the lake, which, by the way, is not actual pitch, but a protective covering created by the lake to allow you such intimate contact. This is not just any ordinary lake, and it is not particularly for bathing, even though some people believe that bathing in the water from catchment areas in the Pitch Lake has healing properties. The rainy season offers a decidedly more diverse experience at the lake than a dry season visit. Some visitors go to the Pitch Lake only in the rainy season for the sole purpose of bathing in the warm, sulfur-rich pools. Many of them swear regular baths in the sulfur pools have cured them of certain skin ailments. For visitors interested in more than the singularly unusual, the Pitch Lake is a habitat for several plant, insect, and bird species. The water rose, nymph lily, and bird of paradise are found in the surrounding marshes, along with breadfruit and cashew trees. Whatever the origin, the pitch from the lake has served to pave roadways and airports in various countries of the world. In the area of tourism, this wonder of the world is visited yearly by thousands. It is one of our cherished national treasures. Verna Barath, News 4.
And of course, be sure to check out the Pitch Lake on your way to Lebre. And that story brings us to the end of our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Joseph Lopez. Thank you for watching.